I took the exam and I took the information and what I remembered from taking the exam and the notes and how I studied, and I created a course. From that course, I've had students that have taken the exam over the past 3 years and they have been successful. And through their, sharing, like Dominique, it kind of changed this way. We didn't see as many computations. We saw more questions leaning towards this. This was spot on. How you taught this. Maybe, next year you should mention this way. And I've been able to grow and, really make course about passing the exam. Hey, Agent Dominique here. I have received the emails, I have received the DMs, I have received the text messages and phone calls. You all want to know what is going on. We have a new CBA. How does that impact the upcoming exam? I know it's been a while since I dropped a video on the exam, on my journey as a whole. So today we are going to jump into how to become an MBA certified agent in 2023. Now, in 2020, I sat for the exam. I started posting these videos. I wanted to take you all through the journey, and then I signed 5 clients. And my YouTube career dwindled and died very fast. On top of the fact that I don't really enjoy creating content, but in the moment, I really just wanted to share my journey because I don't see much information out there. I didn't, and I still don't. So I'm going to try to give back a little bit more, whether it's, conversations that I'm having on Zoom, I'll record and place here so I don't have to necessarily create new content, but just reuse the content that I have to kind of give you guys a little bit more insight into the industry. But let's jump right into what it takes in 2023. So number one, the requirements. The requirements have not changed a whole bunch. You still are required to have a bachelor's degree. Now, a lot of people are asking, hey, if I came from the music industry, hey, if I used to be an agent back in the day before this requirement came, like, do I now have to go get a bachelor's degree before becoming an MBA agent? I will say I can't answer that. Only the MBPA can answer that. What it states on the application is bachelor's degree or qualified negotiating experience or industry experience. Whatever that means is up to the MBPA. So I would suggest just reaching out to them and just seeing if your qualifications, whether it's from the music industry, another sport, maybe you're a boxing manager and you negotiate $1 million deals, you didn't have a requirement to have a bachelor's degree. I would say it's a case-by-case situation. So bachelor's degree, pass a background check. What I've seen over the last 3, almost 4 years is that if you have a name that is common, if your name is John Thompson, you want to make sure that you kind of do a background check on yourself. Are there any other John Thompsons that are similar in age or live in your state that may cross over? Because that will delay you, your background check. That will raise some red flags if John Thompson and you live in DC, but he lives in Virginia and he has a bunch of cases open that are questionable, or he got disbarred, or whatever the case may be. So you want to just kind of do your own due diligence. If you know you have a common name, if you know that you have had mistaken identity before, maybe you're a junior, maybe you're the third, you want to make sure that you kind of make that known up front so that you don't have any delays in your registration. So you need to pass the background check and you need to pass the exam, of course, which I'm here to help you with as well. Moving forward from the qualifications, is the exam going to be virtual this year? The MBPA has not put out guidance as to if they are going to have the exam virtual again this year, but what I will say is it has been virtual since 2021. So I would anticipate that they may continue to move in that direction. And just a few tips on the virtual landscape. You want to make sure that when they send you these software checks, when they send you the practice questions, that you log in the same Wi-Fi network that you're going to be using the day of the exam, and the same room that you're going to be in, to make sure that if there are any glitches, anything going on with your computer, your Wi-Fi network isn't strong enough, you are able to rectify that before the day of the exam, because the last thing that you want is you're 20 questions in or you can't even log in to take the exam. Another thing with the virtual landscape, make sure that your spacing is already allotted for. So you have your binder, you have your calculator because you can't use your phone, you have your binder because you cannot open other tabs on your computer, you cannot have 2 screens open. So you have your binder. I keep reiterating, you have your binder, you have your physical papers that will help you through the exam. You want to make sure that you have enough space around you to where you're not leaning to the left and leaning to the right, and the MBPA has to wonder, what are you doing? Are you talking to someone else? else. You want to make sure that you have a quiet space where no one else is going to walk in, because all of those things could be perceived as cheating, and that is the last thing that you want to happen to you. So moving forward, refunds. A lot of people have asked me over the years, for whatever reason, if I am unable to take the exam, if I'm a lawyer and I have a court case that I just can't get out of, if my wife is having a baby, whatever the case may be, yes, you can get refunded a portion of the money, or you can ask them to hold the money until the next year. I have had several students that have had to do this, and the MBPA will hold it and honor it for you sitting the next year for the exam. Speaking of sitting for the next exam the next year, you want to make sure that that window of opportunity, I call it the window of opportunity because you miss that glorious window of opportunity, you have to wait until the next year, which is 2025, in order to take the exam. And if you are somebody where you have, your family member or your friend or somebody that somebody that you have a relationship with is going through the draft process this year or next year, the last thing that you want is to miss the certification on a technicality. Normally, sometime in August, registration opens up, and sometime in October, close to Halloween, registration closes. So you want to make sure that between that time, that window, you have your money, you have all of your documents together, you are ready to put your application in to become a MBA certified agent. Now, the application specifically, it is long. They do give you a preview. What I suggest is that you go through the preview. I do think I have a video here on YouTube that goes through exactly what that is. You want to look at the application. You want to look at all the information they're going to ask you for, so that you're prepared and you're not sitting there for 3 hours fumbling for information. Some of the things that get a lot of people off guard, if you are already in the industry, if you already offer ancillary services, so maybe you're a realtor, maybe you're a lawyer, maybe you're a financial advisor, how are you going to charge your clients for those things? So on the one end, the MBPA, they regulate what happens with the MBA contracts, but they want to make sure that you're not charging an exorbitant fee on top of that. So they will ask you, what are your other services? What are your other licenses? Have you ever been disbarred? How do you charge your clients? Have you ever, what clients have you represented in sports and entertainment before? And you just want to have all of that information available to you. All right, so we went over the background check, we went over the requirements, we went over refunds, we went over the glorious window of opportunity. Another question, review session. Is the MBA going to give us a review session? Now, last year was the first year that the MBA did not give a review session. They are not moving forward with review sessions because they added something new. They have added the Larry Kuhn course into the registration. So when you place your application in to be an MBA agent, you are automatically given access to the Larry Kuhn course for you to study for the exam. So the review session in which they used to go over everything is no longer there. What they actually have now is more like an information session where they're not going to dive into CBA topics. They'll dive into virtual landscape, software questions, different things like that. Now, moving forward from Larry Kuhn, is the Larry Kuhn course all you need to be able to pass the exam? What is your knowledge of the industry? Do you come in with a level of understanding about, trades and caps and different things like that? If you have knowledge of that, I think Larry Kuhn will be perfect and will be the only resource that you need. But if you're coming in, you don't have the legal background, you don't follow sports close enough to understand the salary caps and the trades and the holds and the different things like that, you may need somebody to break it down in layman's terms. That's where I come in. I do offer courses, self-study course, a 10-week course. I do offer mock exams and other resources that you can utilize. So that is kind of the landscape for 2023, 2024 moving forward. I am going to drop some content about the new CBA. I will say, if you are new, if this is your first time taking the exam, then you don't have much to worry about because you never knew the content anyway. It's just a matter of learning the content to pass the exam. Now, if you've taken the exam in the past, you have to unlearn what you thought you learned to relearn the new things. And while there were over 200 changes, I would say maybe 25% of them will be reflected on the new exam. And so I'm waiting, just like you guys are, for the MBPA to drop guidance around what topics will be specifically covered on the exam, maybe give some new practice questions so we can see what direction they're going. But I just wanted to jump on here today because I've been receiving an overwhelming amount of, questions, DMs, phone calls, text messages. I wanted to address these things so that everyone can have an idea. The course is starting in September. This year we are offering a payment plan, which we have not previously done before. So you have the month of August and part of September to register for the 10-week course and to break your payments up into 3. So click the link below to get more information about registering for the 10-week course. And if you're somebody where you're just like, hey, I want to do it on my own, I really don't have time to log into these Zooms, the self-study course is available for you as well. I hope that kind of helped you guys get prepared for 2023, 2024 and moving forward about what to expect through the process. As I get more information, I'll share more information. Give this disclaimer: I do not work for the MBPA. I am a licensed agent, and that's the only capacity in which I have relations with the MBPA. So I'm saying that to say the information that I am getting is the information that is provided on the website. I do not have any insight, particularly to the questions or anything like that. How I've been able to be successful over the years in teaching the course is because I took the exam and I took the information and what I remembered from taking the exam and the notes and how I studied, and I created a course. From that course, I've had students that have taken the exam over the past 3 years and they have been successful. And through their, sharing, like, Dominique, it kind of changed this way. We didn't see as many computations. We saw more questions leaning towards this. This was spot on. How you taught this. Maybe, next year you should mention this way. And I've been able to grow and, really make course about passing the exam and also making knowledgeable agents so that when you go out there, if you do get a client, you're able to start in the field immediately. Check back for more videos. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I'm going to do something every week. I won't. But subscribe to the channel so you do get the notifications when those videos do go up. All right, until next time.